Now, I won't lie, back when I was in high school, seeing a gamer girl was not a normal thing for me. Like, me knowing that there are gamers out there that are women wasn't common back when I was in high school. Because I remember back when I was in high school, when a girl was like, oh, like, I'm a gamer, it usually meant that they played like Angry Birds on their phone, or they played Talking Ben on their iPads, and they just acted like they were gamers. But this one time, I'm not gonna lie, a girl changed my mind on everything, but she ended up being psychotic, and that's what the story is about. But before we get into the story, I just want to mention a quick, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, because seriously, it means a lot when you guys do. And on top of that, did I mention that you guys should as well as click the link down in the description, because I'm currently live on Twitch streaming and probably telling more crazy stories like this one. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into this crazy story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy video. So today is about me and a gamer girl, and the way the story went out was honestly insane. So basically, I remember back when I was in high school, there were a lot of people in my school, especially guys who were gamers. Every time I would go to like a classroom or, you know, just hang out with like a couple friends of mine, they were all gamers. And I remember one game that was really trending back when I was in high school, especially since the Nintendo Switch came out, was Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers was a really big deal in my school, and honestly, I love Nintendo. Smash Bros is one of my favorite games ever. Like, hell, I used to main Fox. Anyways, going on with the story though, I remember one time I was sitting in my classroom and I was just hanging out, and then I remember over the PA on the announcements, they said, we are releasing a Smash Bros tournament, and if you guys do want to compete in the tournament, it will be on the projector in front of the cafeteria at lunchtime. Thank you. That's right, a Smash Bros tournament. It was literally gonna be a tournament against everyone in the school playing Smash Brothers. Now, you guys are probably wondering, when does the chick come into the storyline? Well, let me explain. I remember when all the boys were talking about a Smash Bros tournament happening in the school, I remember that they decided to make an entire group of people that would go into a classroom at lunchtime and practice their skills. So I remember I brought my Switch down and I started practicing my skills as well. Because hell, I'm gonna compete in a Smash Bros tournament. It would be awesome to flex in front of the entire school. Hey, I know how to use my hands, girl. That sounded really bad, but you know what I mean. So I remember I started playing and I started practicing. And then one time when I was practicing in the classroom that everyone else was practicing in, there was a girl who walked in. Now, reminder, it was literally like one of those scenes in a movie where like a bunch of nerds are just sitting in the library and a hot chick just walks in. It was one of those moments. And this girl walked in confidently and she's like, hey guys, like, I'm here to practice for Smash Bros. Can I borrow a controller? I remember everyone in the classroom was kind of like looking around and stuff at each other, and they're like, there's no way this girl's gonna play. And I remember I ended up taking one of my Switch controllers out and I handed it to her, and I'm like, hey, like, you can practice me if you want. Because I think I had balls to actually, like, you know, tell a girl, hey, you can play with me. Because I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't shy at this time. I remember the girl looked at me with a massive smile and she's like, okay, like, I'm down. And we started playing together. When me and her started playing, I'm not gonna lie, she was pretty good at Smash. Like, I've never played with a girl that was good at Smash Bros other than smashing in bed, doing the Devil's Tango. But going on, it was really interesting to see her play, and I remember I told her, hey, like, you're actually pretty good at this. She looks at me, she's like, thanks. Yeah, I've been practicing a lot with my brothers, but you know, I heard there's a Smash Bros tourney and I want to play as well. Like, I feel like I can definitely like win. I remember I looked at her, I'm like, okay, you need to relax, okay? Like, I'm gonna win the Smash Bros tournament. Me being all cocky and stuff. And then she's like, actually, I think I could beat you in a 1v1 literally any day of the week. I look at her and I'm like, fine, choose your main. I'll verse you right now. Easy. She looks at me and she's like, fine, I'll verse you as well. And then me and this girl, we started playing with each other. We started versing each other, playing the game, and over, me and her, we kept battling it out. And the crazy part was that as we were playing, I remember I won like 3 out of like the 5 games we played. So obviously, like, you know, I was the winner. And she looked at me, she's like, okay, like, I'll admit you're pretty good with Ness and Fox. Like, you're pretty good. And I looked at her, I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm the best, you know, it is what it is. And then I remember right after that, she ends up pulling out her phone and she's like, give me your phone real quick. And I'm like, sure, like, here's my phone. And she ended up putting her phone number, but also her Snapchat. Yeah, that's right. I pulled a girl off playing Smash Bros with her. That's the type of smashing I do. That sounds really wrong. Anyways, going on though, I remember a couple hours went by and the school day ended and I went home. And when I went home, I remember I still kept practicing playing the game because obviously I want to be a winner. And then the craziest thing happened where she actually ended up snapping me saying, hey, like, are you still practicing? I remember I messaged her back and I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm just practicing and stuff. And then me and her, we started to play online together. Now, reminder, Nintendo Switch's online platform thingy is really weird, so we ended up just talking on Discord. And as we were talking on Discord, we were basically playing Smash Bros together, 1v1ing each other over and over. But then this is where things get freaky. I remember I was versing her and I was using my main, and I was practicing for some other characters because, you know, I want to get good with everyone. But going on, I remember she sent me a Snapchat saying, if you win this round against me, I'll send you a treat. When I saw that, I knew what was going down. That's right, boys. I think we all know what that means. So I remember I ended up choosing my main character and I ended up playing and I won. Obviously, I won. It was my main. I knew every combo with him. Like, with Ness, it's one of my favorite characters. Even to this day, I know how to do it. And then she ended up seeing that I won, and then she sent me her cherries. That's right, guys. She sent me her literal cherries when I opened on Snap. I remember I was like kind of like looking at them with my my wide eyes open. And that wasn't even the worst part. I think my sister even like walked behind me and she's like, oh my goodness, whose are those? And I like instantly closed the snap and I'm like, nothing. I was internet. Yeah, not the best excuse, but going on. That ended up happening. And then I remember the next day at school, me and her, we ended up going back in the same room at lunchtime and practicing. Like I haven't played Smash Bros this much since that time. And honestly, like it was such an iconic moment for me. But going on though, I remember me and this girl, we were playing Smash Bros together and we were versing each other once again. We kept versing each other over and over and over. I think I've said that a million times in this video, but you guys gotta understand, we played a lot. But then after that, I remember she looks at me and she says this, hey, like if you want to practice over at my place tomorrow, like I'm kind of down. I remember I looked at her and I looked at the calendar and I saw that we had 2 days before the tournament started. So I remember I looked at her and I told her, yeah, I'm down. Like I'm down to come over. We can play Smash Bros at your place. And she's like, bet, I'm down. And then she ended up walking away. The bell rang and I ended up going to class and I ended up getting excited, but at the same time thinking, was she trying to get me off my game? Was she trying to mess me up? Am I getting too distracted versing one person over and over that I know I'm gonna beat? Honestly, I had no idea. Anyways, the next day happens and me and her, we ended up hanging out after school and we ended up going straight to her place. And when I got to her place, I remember I went inside her living room to plug in my Switch, but I realized that there wasn't a TV in the living room. I ended up looking at her. I'm like, hey, like, where's your TV to plug this in? And she said, oh, like, we're going in my bedroom. What? We're going into your bedroom to play Smash Bros? Okay. I ended up getting my backpack and I ended up going up to her room. And when I got there, I realized that there was like a giant, like 75-inch massive TV just sitting there. And I'm looking at her. I'm like, you play Smash Bros on this? She looks at me and she's like, yeah, like, you know, practice. Whatever that meant. Like, I don't ever think a girl should have a giant 75-inch TV, but going on. Me and this girl, we started playing and versing each other. And I remember midway through, she ends up saying one thing to me that I honestly got super uncomfortable. And honestly, I would continue the story, but this story is already getting long enough. And honestly, me and the gamer girl story will have to continue because trust me, there's a lot more to the story of what happens in that place. And on top of that, how the tournament goes. Anyways, other than that, guys, that is basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you guys do want part 2 of this crazy story time, make sure you guys just comment down below. And I know you guys want the maid part 3. I will get you guys the maid part 3 story. It's just I have a lot of stuff to do and I'm currently moving and posting IRL content on the Bubba channel. So if you guys do want to go check out the IRL content that's going to be posted soon on there, go to the IRL channel, Bubba. And on top of that, like I always say, fall for more embarrassing stories. Also, I'm live on Twitch. Click the link in the description. Okay, bye.
She said she love me, she got, should I ask it for sure? I got 100K for my life's work, so mama said bravo. All these people on my street, love y'all till the day I go. I got 100K in my plane. I got 100 buddies on my name.